So in this video we're going to look at how to add a master variable. A master variable in Procurement Pal is simply something that is important to the client when awarding business. As standard, we always include price into the events when doing a request for quotation or an e-auction, but you can add in other variables as well as price. For example, lead time might be important to a company that's awarding business. Payment terms might be important. Quality of the products, brand, there could be anything that's important in awarding that piece of business. So we've included that into the logic, and I'll show you how to add the master variable. So you go to the drop down menu, account management and variables. You see here you can add master variable. There are none existing at the moment. So we go to add master variable, and then we'll be asked to enter a variable type. So there's three different variable types in Procurement Pal. One is a measured variable per auction. So in an auction or an event you can have multiple lots within that event. If you want to have this variable for all lots, you select measured variable per auction. If you want to have a measured variable per lot, you select the second one, and that means that you can have a different lead time perhaps for each lot in that event. And then finally, manual variable. The difference between a measured variable and a manual variable is a measured variable is something that a supplier is expected to give you. So they'll tell you the lead time that they're going to have for that particular product or service. They'll tell you payment terms. A manual variable is something the supplier is not expected to enter, and as the host of the event, the client is expected to enter that. So it's more of a subjective scoring that you can incorporate within the scoring of the event yourself, but it's a subjective score. An example might be the brand quality. So what we do, I'm going to show you how to enter a measured per lot variable. So we can call it lead time. Description is days to supply product service. The unit of measure, so we've got a number of unit of measures in Procurement Pal. Obviously for this particular one it's number of days, so the lead time is measured in days. And then the plan type, but you could make that hours. You could make that if that's how the supply chain works for your business, but I'm going to use days here. And then the plan type, you've got a couple of options here as well. So reverse is a plan type where the lower measurement is favourable. For example, a shorter lead time is favourable, so we'd score that as a reverse plan type. But a forward plan type is when the high unit of measurement is favourable, i.e. higher payment terms are variable in terms of number of days. So you can use reverse or forward as plan type, whichever is applicable to you. So as lead time, lower lead times are more favourable, so I'm going to put this as reverse. You can see a box here. You can include this variable by default for new events. If I select this box, you'll include lead time as a variable in all events that you create. What this means is that when you create a request for quotation, for example, you can score the suppliers both on price as well as lead time. It's not all about price in Procurement Pal. It gives the suppliers the ability to use their best parameters and best service offering to win business, as well as the client. It's also great for the suppliers to, if they've got particularly competitive lead times, they're able to win more business for the companies where lead time is important for them. So we can include this as by default for new events, or we can just leave it blank and we can pull in that variable as and when we want to when we create the events. And I just go to save changes. And there you go. So I've got that master variable created now, and I can pull that variable into any event I'd like to create. If you have any questions about this particular video, please email Dan@procurementpal.com.